Well, as everybody said, obviously for us, there's a lot of anticipation for this season. I think when you look at last year, there was some disappointment with some games that we felt we had opportunities to win, but at the end of the day, we didn't. And, these guys are very motivated. You saw it in the offseason. You saw it through, from January on. We got a model called the response, and how are they going to respond to, being challenged? How are they going to respond to each other? And I think they've met that challenge and that response. We had a great offseason, made some changes to our staff, got a new offensive coordinator, Coach Dolan. Also made some changes just not on our staff, but defensively, some schematic changes, some things that kind of fit us. We had some injuries last year that kind of forced us to change some things mid-season, and ended up really doing well for us. And so we're going to kind of carry that stuff on into this year. But a lot of anticipation. These guys up here have been the ringleaders for what we're trying to do in the offseason, and I'm very excited to get ourselves going on August 12th, and then obviously ready to kick off the season against Shadron.
Players, same question.
As a player, you're always excited to get back out on the field. Off-season can get a little grindy, a little monotonous, waking up, working out, going to class, working out again, this, that. So whenever you're ready to get back into it, throw the pads on, get ready for practice, and on Saturdays be excited for a game, it's always exciting to, just get back into the swing of things. And, this being the last year, it's, there's just that extra excitement factor for it.
Yeah, just building off what he said, it's real exciting to get out there, for our last time, and just kind of show that what we've been putting together, this summer, as far as lifting, throwing, and all that good stuff that Coach Siekman had doing for us, and excited to have this new OC, Coach Dolan, and all these young guys, and have them step up and see what they're capable of this season, and just look for a little more consistency on both sides of the ball, and I think everything's going to tie together just fine. So.
Open up to questions on the floor.
You talked a little bit about consistency. There were some of those games, you look at your schedule where you guys were in it, and then all of a sudden your games kind of fell apart. What type of things are you guys trying to teach your underclassmen to keep headstrong?
Yeah, we're just trying to teach them, it's never too late to step up. That's kind of been, an issue for us is, it's been tough for those younger guys to, have a voice and, to get them to understand, that it doesn't matter how old you are, and it doesn't matter, where you come from, whatever, you can step up in any time you want. And, Black Hills State is a team where, we're open to anybody stepping up and, joining, us to, lead us to things like an RMAC championship, or, even, a winning season, stuff like that, because, that's kind of where we need to start, is build off the last year, get those young guys to step up and, produce a winning season. So.
And on the other side of the ball, the defensive side, what kind of things did you guys, Coach said you guys are implementing new things there. What kind of things are you guys taking from the off-season to implement?
First things first is just flying to the ball and being an active defense. You don't do well in this conference if you can't create turnovers, get stops, or just in general be a terror on defense. There's a lot of teams in the RMAC that can put up a lot of points, and going for shootouts with them is never the way you want to go. So this offseason, as a defense, we've been really working to try to create turnovers, fly to the ball, get 11 guys around it every time, and that's really the focus, is just to be 11 guys flying around out there at all times.
Coach, you mentioned bringing on the new offensive coordinator, Mitch Dolan. What did you feel like he would bring to Black Hills State?
I think he's a younger coach. He brings a lot of enthusiasm, brings a wealth of knowledge. He was at Boise for a year. He was at College of Idaho for 3. What he's brought is he really connects well with the guys, and our coaches, and they've really bought into what he's trying to implement. He understands, played quarterback in college, understands that, what they need to know, what they need to see, and he's kind of been able to do that in our quarterback room. And I know our guys are very excited about, just what he's going to bring to the table and the excitement he's going to bring for our offense.
And then Peyton, Joe, kind of continuing off that, how's that adjustment been going to spring camp and just adjusting to what you're now expected of you this year coming into 2019?
So to pretty much go off of how it's been a learning experience. Coach Dolan has been a great teacher of ours, and I couldn't have asked for anybody better to do so. When it comes down to it, it's what you're willing to put into it and how much you bought into it and what you're willing to put into off season and your time alone and how much time you want to put into film and just to learn your whole new offense. And I feel like we've all really caught on, and I've really felt that everybody, we looked at huddle times as an offense and offensive line, and all of us had over 4 hours throughout the week. And it was, we need more hours, obviously, but, it just kind of just shows you, like, compared to last season when people weren't really watching film, and it really showed a lot when it got to the game and when we were unprepared. But it was just it's a really good thing for us to really fill out how Coach Dolan was going to put everything in front of us, and he put it all into great perspective for all of us. So it was very easy and very fun to learn a new offense.
Yeah, just building off what he said, Coach Dolan, he said he's a teacher, and I think that's the most important part of, his job is, he's a teacher, and, we haven't had that in the past, and, it was really tough for us, kind of weigh down on our confidence. So to have someone there to, to tell us, right when we're wrong and, to mean it and, for us to understand, what it means to be right is really important. And, everybody's connecting with him well, and, he kind of understands us. So that's really good. And I like where we're headed, as far as, having this new OC and, getting things in order and just ready to go.
Coach, with the limited amount of time that you have with players during the off season from spring, summer, how do you go about putting together a plan to help make these guys successful come fall?
Yeah, obviously we had our 15 practices in the spring, and you try to get as much accomplished then as you can. And I think these guys, whether it was offense, the changes on defense, there was a ton of, just them, the leaders. These guys were leaders in that offseason. And then as you get to the summer, all four of these guys have been up there all summer, working their tails off with, the rest of the guys that have been up there. And we've had a large contingent, and more guys keep coming in after July 4th. And, they were doing player run practices. They were getting together and doing drills. They were doing 7-on-7. And I think just the things that they were doing on their own was showing what they want to do and how they want to change things up there and what we need to do, because we know consistency and the things that we need to do and staying healthy, and these guys are trying to make sure that stuff happens, and it's been great to see.
And then final one, Joe kind of mentioned watching more video. As leaders of this team, how have you guys stepped up more in a leadership role here in your fourth year for most of you guys?
I would say just being here over the summer most of the time, and really been able to convince a lot of other guys to stay and keep working. Sorry, I died. Train of thought. It's been good for me because I've been really having to teach the younger guys a lot of new things, and keeping them around has been nice. Oh yeah, and I've been doing some growing up too, and it's been nice from the younger guys who we have lots of leaders in there, and we've been learning off each other.
Just building off of what Josh was saying, the biggest thing was definitely having to mature into a leadership role. You show up to your college team and you redshirt for a year, and next thing you know, you're in the thick of it, and then just a year later they're asking you to be someone that people look to, and that takes a lot of growing up. You can't. Certain things can't affect you the way they used to. When things hit the fan, people look to you. You can't be, freaking out. You have to stay strong, and that's definitely where the maturity had to step in for me, because a lot of things could hit me a little different. And from now being a leader, I have to maintain a stable head, maintain poise, and it's really a testament to mental strength. And shout out to Siegman, because mental strength is the name of the game.
I'll add to that. I think these guys, they learn a lot, and you kind of sometimes have life lessons. And they recently found out that one of their teammates, Brett Lamb, was diagnosed with leukemia. And that's kind of an awakening for everybody, and he's going to take this year off. And it's his will that's going to get him to beat this, but it's also very motivating for these guys, to know that it can be taken away at any point. And that was kind of a wake-up call for everybody, but something that obviously they're playing for and dedicating this season to him.